सभी का स्वागत है. I welcome all of you to this another episode of Fond Memories of Srila Gurudev. And today we are very fortunate to have among us Sripad Indubhushan Prabhu, who has joined us from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. And first I'm going to start with Jai Dhwani. Jai Shri Guru Gaurang Gandharvika Girdhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ji ki Jai. Shri Radha Raman Ji ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishtom Vishnu Padashto Tasa Srimad Bhaktivedant Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishtom Vishnu Padashto Tasa Srimad Bhaktivedant Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishtom Vishnu Padashto Tasa Srimad Bhaktivedant Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. रूपान गुरुवर की जय. वृंदावन नवदीप धाम की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि. So first we are going to hear some kirtan from Prabhuji, and then I'll give a short introduction, and then Prabhuji will share his memories with Srila Gurudev. So Prabhuji, Dandavat pranams to you and welcome on this program.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
You can let's start with the kirtan and then.
Yes. Okay. I'm not a Midanga player, but just to support it a little.
Yes, okay.
Si Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma Bando Mohi Sabadana Bhate Bando Mohi Sabadana Bhate Jahara Sare Bhai Baba Toriya Jahara Sare Bhai Baba Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoya Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Sitete Kohiya Arana Kohiyo Maniya Sa Arana Kohiyo Maniya Sa Sigo Charani Gati Yese Utama Gati Sigo Charani Gati Yese Utama Gati Yepa Sare Poi Sava Asa Yepa Sare Poi Sava Chapsudano dilo ji janme janme tabu se Chapsudano dilo ji janme janme tabu se Divakyani re prakasito Divakyani re prakasito Prema bhakti jao ite avi javi nasayati Prema bhakti jao ite avi javi nasayati Vedekai jaya sahito Vedekai jaya sahito Siguru karuna sindhu adamaja nara bandhu Siguru karuna sindhu adamaja nara bandhu Dukkana dukke ajivana Dukkena dukke ajivana Prabhu koyo doya Deho mohi parajaya Prabhu koyo doya Deho mohi parajaya Prabhu koyo doya Deho mohi parajaya Prabhu Niveyastu Sukhi Bhupana Srila Gurudev Patita Pavana Gurudev Patita Pavana Jai Gurudeva Jai Gurudeva Gurudeva Jai Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jayo Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhavadai Jayo Radhe Jayo Jayo Madhavadai Gokulatani Mandala Mahi Jaya Gokulatani Mandala Mahi Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Damodarati Varanavesi Aini Sutabe Davipine Sejaya Damodarati Varanavesi Aini Sutabe Davipine Dari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Dari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Vrisabhanudari Navasachireke Lalita Saki Ramita Visati Jaya Vrishabhanudari Navasachireke Lalita Saki Ramita Visati Dari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Dari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Karunam Guru Mayi Karuna Bahite Sanata Sanatan Vanita Chahite Jaya Karunam Guru Mayi Karuna Bahite Sripad Vanita Chahite Jayo Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Sri Hari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Gokulataruni Mandala Mai Gokulataruni Mandala Mai Hari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Hari Jaya Jaya Madhavadai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ramo Ramo Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo Hare 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 Bol Hare Bol Hare Bol Oh Nitai Goya Hare Bol
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was really nice, very with great mood and bhav. You sang those two kirtans, very nice. And first of all, I like to apologize to all of you. I forgot to change the heading for today's program. I'm going to do it after the program. I don't think I can change it while it is on. So really sorry for this. And today we are very fortunate to have among us Sripad Indubhushan Prabhu. He joined us from Holland, Rotterdam. And Prabhuji was born in a Christian family, and he is a very senior devotee. He met Srila Gurudev in 1996 when Srila Gurudev went for the first time to the West. And as you all know, Holland is a big center for our preaching. Almost all the sannyasis and preachers, they stop over or they stay in Holland. They do preaching, and whenever they travel further to US and other places, Holland is the center point. And even Gurudev used to love that place. He used to call it Holy Land. He used to say it is not Holland, it is Holy Land. So our Prabhuji is from Holy Land. And he started his spiritual journey by reading books of Pujyapad, Nitlila, Pravishtom, Vishnupad, Ashtotasar, Srimad Bhaktivedant, Swami Maharaja. And 3 years he stayed in ISKCON and he did his services in ISKCON. Thereafter, he met Srila Gurudev in 1996, as I said earlier. And as soon as he met, he lost his heart to him. And not only he started serving him, but he started traveling with him and preaching also in Holland. And he started a center after in Holland, Rotterdam, from where Prabhuji is speaking today. And after 4 years of initiation and preaching extensively, Gurudev gave him saffron cloth in 2008, and thereafter he is following Gurudev's teaching very nicely, and also he is taking guidance from our Pujyapad Bhaktivedant Madhusudan Maharaj, who is also very, very elevated Vaishnav, very, very rasik. So today we are very fortunate to have Sripad Indubhushan Prabhu with us. We're going to hear his journey, how it all started from Bhaktivedant Swami Maharaj Ji, and how he was pulled by Gurudev's attraction, and thereafter how he left his material world and is totally into serving Gurudev and taking his mission, and so seriously he is following his bhajan. So we want to hear all this, how his life evolved and how he feels so grateful now that he met Gurudev and how his life has changed. So Prabhuji, we have no restriction on time. You can speak your heart out, let us know everything, whatever happened with you or in your life, and how Gurudev is so important to you. You can start, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this giving me this opportunity, especially so close to Gurudev's Nitya Lila Tirubhavtiti. So it's my great fortune that I have this chance to glorify this great Mahabhagavat, Srila Gurudev. So first of all, I'd like to give my pranams to our Guru Varga and Srila Gurudev, and all Vaishnavas. Ajnanatimrandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Talabhaktaya Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Sikora Bhaktavi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare. So, first of all, I pay my Dandavat Pranams 1,000 and thousands of times on the lotus feet of my holy master, Srila Nitya Lila Bhuvistum Vishnupada Satarasata Sisyamat Srila Bhaktivedant Narayana Goswami Maharaj. The same obeisances unto my Siksha Gurus, Srila Pujyapad Vishnupada Satarasata Sisyamat Bhaktivedant Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. Srimati Krishna Priti Thakurani, Sri Rupanuga Guravarga, all Vaisnavis, my Dandavat Pranams. So again, Ajay Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to, for my own purification, to speak about to touch a little bit about the unlimited glories of Srila Gurudev. So, introduction was not completely correct, but I will tell the exact dates of meeting Srila Gurudev. It was 1999. So 96 I met Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
So as you said, I was born in a Christian family in Gouda. Fortunately, not Gouda Desh, India, but Gouda in Holland. So hopefully one of my next life I can take birth in Gouda Desh. But it is a small city in the center of Holland, and it was a Christian family. My parents, from young age, they took me to the church. So for me, God was always existing. But as in the Bible, it's not really explained who is God. So they speak about God, about Jesus, of course, all his activities, but it is always quite abstract what to think about God. Is it a person? Is it not a person? So this was not clear, so they cannot speak about these details. So for me it was not so much inspiring. For me, God was always existing. I had my prayers every day and I never felt alone. So there was, for me, there was a feeling that God was existing, but who it was not clear. So it went on to 96. It was there was a festival in Amsterdam, the capital city of Holland, and at that, in the center, there was a big festival of the Hare Krishnas, because it was the centennial of Srila Bhaktivedanta A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It was 100 years Prabhupada. So there was a big festival. And when I came closer to that festival, I could hear the Maha Mantra. They were singing and dancing. And I remember very clearly how attractive the sound was coming to me. I was so attracted to this mantra. I never heard this mantra, but it gave me so much bliss, so much happiness.
How old were you then, Prabhuji?
I was 23, 24 something.
Oh, young boy. Okay.
Well, young.
Yeah.
So So, and then I was seeing them dancing in front of a murti of Prabhupada. So, but I didn't know Prabhupada. But I had a feeling I was so happy. It made me so happy. But I just controlled myself not to dance with them because I didn't know the person and what was the celebration. But I became very much inspired. And before that, some years before that, I was already start reading esoteric books about more understanding of about spiritual life. So what is God? What is this life meant for? What is behind that? So I became vegetarian by this knowledge of what I was reading in other books. So I was already a vegetarian, and some principles I was following that I was reading later in the books. So, but in '96, I bought some books on that festival. And when I came home and I started reading of Prabhupada's books, Signs of Self-Realization and Coming and Going and all this, yeah, so many books. So one after the other, I became so excited. So because all the answers at once came to me. Who am I? I'm a spirit soul. Who is God? Krishna is God. So he's the most beautiful person. So all the answers were so clear. So I became so happy because it was very strange. There was no other book that I read before that gave me so much details about life. So everything was clear. I'm a servant of God, only I forgot this relationship. My soul is hidden inside. So Prabhupada's books were such a nectar. So one after the other, I was buying these books, and the next week I was visiting the temple in Amsterdam. So my life from that moment is really changed. Although I had my own house, so I didn't leave my own place. So I was not living in the temple directly, but I was visiting them every week, and I became quite active also by visiting Namahatas in the midweeks in Rotterdam, the city where I'm living in now. So very soon I had very nice friends and other devotees who were coming to the programs as well. So we became active with organizing Harinams once a week. We visited, or once a month we went to another city in Holland. So it was so blissful. Everybody knows the first time you come in contact with Krishna consciousness, yeah, your life is changing and you become so much happy. So this was the power of Prabhupada's books and of course the Nam. Of course, in the beginning you think, oh, very quickly we can attain perfection, we can realize God, although it takes some time, but this enthusiasm is coming in the beginning. So it was a great time. And to hear about Prabhupada, his life and teachings, to see his videos, how he was discussing with other preachers in the world. So it became so blissful. But I have to say, after 3 years ISKCON visiting and being active in ISKCON, I lost a little bit my enthusiasm, because I knew the Sadguru is needed in your life. I understood, but I met many preachers coming to Holland, but there was not really one that was taking my heart and inspiring me. Oh yes, I want to take initiation from him. So after 3 years, I lost a little bit my enthusiasm. And at that moment, as Paramatma in the heart is witnessing everything, I met a devotee, disciple of Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhu, Srila Das. So he calls himself Bhakta Swarup. So he's known as Bhakta Swarup. So he said, oh, I'm also a Krishna devotee, aspirant Krishna devotee, and my guru is coming to Holland. If you like, you can meet him. He's coming in Bodegraven, and that place is near Gouda, where I was at that time living. So it was almost next door that Gurudev was coming. So I told in ISKCON, I met somebody and he said there is a sadhu coming to Holland. Why it's not announced in ISKCON? And his name is Narayan Maharaj. And then they told me, oh, you should not go there, because he is not in line with Prabhupada. He's preaching in a different way. So it's not good to go there. So it was a little bit, yeah, I lost my enthusiasm about this news. But then I was thinking, well, I'm not that stupid. I can make my own decision. I want to see what it is, how they are there, what kind of celebration they have. So I chose, together with a friend of mine, we went to the festival. That was 99, so after 3 years. 99 in the summer in Holland. Gurudev was already 3 years coming in Holland as people know, in 96 was the first time he went out of India. So he was, but at that time, I didn't know about Gurudev's presence in Holland. So I missed that years. But 99, I met Srila Gurudev. I was a little late. I came for the program. So the hall where Gurudev was sitting was already full, packed. So I was sitting almost at the entrance in the back. But the moment I came in, I remember the glance that Gurudev was giving. It was really feeling, what is this? This man on the stage, he's looking at me as he was saying, I was waiting for you.
Oh.
That feeling he was giving me in my heart, and I was so overwhelmed because I had seen many preachers in ISKCON, but not one of them would give me that kind of impression. So from 1 minute, Gurudev gave me this impression that I know who you are, and I knew that you was coming. And actually, that day when I stood up that morning, there was many auspicious signs.
Oh.
I think many people have that. They can recognize, oh, this is a very auspicious day, or this is inauspicious. So I remember that day, there were many signs I could see, oh, this is a very, very auspicious day. But I didn't make the link that with meeting the devotee that I was seeing now in front of me. But then I understood this is what is meant in scriptures about Sadguru, a pure devotee who is beyond the material conditions of life. So he can see everything. He can see past, present, and future. So Gurudev, immediately I understood this is a pure devotee. But although I could not really grab the Harikatha that was going on, because Gurudev's Katha is so much, such a high level of devotion he's preaching, and this pure prema bhakti. So it was a little bit, I thought, do I fit in this group? Because I felt not really qualified to be a part of that. But we stayed the night at that festival place, and the next morning, we saw Srila Gurudev was doing a morning walk with devotees following him. So I said with my friends, look, there is the sadhu is walking there. Let's try to follow. So Gurudev was walking there, and then at one point he stopped and he turned around and he was looking. I didn't see he had such a blue eyes, but that moment it was only 2 meters away, and he was so scanning me. He was looking in my eyes, and I was really amazed how he was acting with the devotees, and how he was giving me this impression, like I'm here for you. So yeah, from that moment I understood this is the fortune that I have received today. This is Krishna's mercy, Prabhupada mercy. So yes, I was not directly taking initiation because it was overwhelming me, but I asked Srila Prabhu, what shall I do? Gurudev was already, he went, because it was the last 2 days of the festival. So he went to another country. So I wrote him a letter, Gurudev. At that time, there was no emails. So, and he answered quite quickly. He said, yes, I already accept you as my disciple. Try to come for Kartik 2 months after. There was a Kartik Mass, and I can give you initiation in Vrindavan. So that was 99. I went first time. I went to India there, and yeah, it was amazing. But also, I became very sick the first year of Kartik. They say we had a lot of karma to burn. So if you become sick in the Holy Dham, you lose so much quickly, so much karma. So I became very sick, but it must be have been all blessings to receive a lot, to get rid of a lot of karma. Together with another devotee from Holland, he was also the first time in India, Madhusudan Prabhu. So he came from Australia. He met devotees in Australia. So together we were sick for 2 weeks or something. So, but Gurudev, he gave me initiation in Rupsanatan Mat, and he gave me the name of Indubhusan Das. So it was, yeah, I cannot count my blessings. I think nobody can, how much mercy we have received by coming in contact with Krishna's mercy, condensed mercy in the form of Sri Guru. So Srila Gurudev, yeah, he has gave me so much. So I asked him, how can I serve you? He said, I want you to stay in Holland, he said, but try to come twice to India. So that's what I did for many years. So he wanted to have me preaching in Holland and coming twice for Kartik and Gaur Purnima. So all these years, yeah, it was really amazing how he was coming with us to all these holy places and explaining all these beautiful pastimes. Like you could see it in front of you when Gurudev was speaking about it. So slowly, I became more and more attached to Vrindavan and Navadvip. In the beginning, you see, yeah, it's a little bit of culture shock, you know. We are from the West, and then you see, yeah, completely another country. So in the beginning, it was difficult to see the beauty of Vrindavan. But year by year, I could see the beauty of the Brajavasis and yeah, the mood that there is all these temples, all these early morning activities. So slowly, and also the whole family, Gurudev was surrounded. There was one big family. So I remember all these years, they were so much blissful. So I was, in the beginning, I came to Gurudev and I was like an artist. So I was a painter.
Okay.
And I know it's something from a previous life, some habit. So, but then I think it was, yeah, the next year, I didn't receive Diksha directly. So the next year I received Diksha in Navadvip Dham Parikram in Devananda Gaudiya Math. I think it was the same year as Govinda Bhakkata, Sripad, Bhaktivedant Ashram Maharaj received sannyas.
Okay.
And I remember Madhuvrat, he took also Diksha, Madhusudan Prabhu from England. Mm-hmm. So that year I received Diksha. But coming back to Holland, I was still in white cloth. And then I met somebody very attractive. So she was very qualified devotee. So I was thinking, shall I practicing Grihastha? Shall I marry and become Grihastha and practicing together, devotional practice with a partner? So I was in this doubt. So this attraction was quite strong. And then Gurudev came to Holland, maybe 2002. And then he was preaching, giving Harikatha. He said, oh, in Mahaprabhu's time, so many devotees were married. So I was feeling Gurudev is giving me, he's giving me blessings to work out my idea. And then the last day of the festival, Gurudev was coming to Rotterdam. I had there my working place, my studio where I had my paintings. And I had also some little bookstore for people that, because if you walked in the street, you could see the books of Srila Gurudev and Prabhupada. So it was a little bit like a preaching place also. And then I asked the organizer of the festival in Rotterdam, so can you, that was also Srila Prabhu, can you please ask Gurudev, because Gurudev, he stayed near my house. It was 1 kilometer away. He stayed with Srila Prabhu, and then on his way, I asked, maybe Gurudev, you can ask if he can stop at my place and give blessings to the house. And he said, in Bratinath or Bratinath, maybe he said, yeah, we will try. We cannot promise, but let's see. So I had to, half the program, I had to go to home because Gurudev maybe came to my house. So I was waiting, and then suddenly the bell was ringing. Oh. And then Gurudev, in front of the door, there was 5-6 cars with Gurudev with all his followers, like Bratinath, Madhav Maharaj, and Pundarik, and yeah, all the devotees, Shamarani, Didi, so all these followers, they came in. So I was quite shocked, but they had given me some instructions how to take care of Gurudev. So I had a fruit plate, everything ready. So Gurudev, he said, oh, your name and this, and he he was making jokes with devotees. So he was in a very happy mood because at that festival, the last program, there were many, many devotees there. So it made Gurudev very happy. So he met a lot of Indian devotees because in Holland, a lot of Indians living, coming from Suriname. So they are Indian Suriname background. So Gurudev was very happy to meet so many Indian devotees outside India. So he could speak also Hindi, because that is for Gurudev always more freedom to speak more in details about his mood. So Gurudev was very happy. And finally he asked, "Oh, you're single?" He said. I said, "Yes, Gurudev," because I was not that close already with this Didi. So he said, "Oh, you want to take, I want to give you saffran. You like to have saffran cloth?" And he was smiling at me because he knew what was in my mind. So I could see he was telling me, "So I come to save you from your plans." So, and I told Gurudev, if you want to give me saffran, what can I say? I have to take, because you know what is best for me. I don't know. So I accepted his proposal. Wow. He said, "Okay, if you come for Kartik, I give you saffran." So in this way, yeah, really, I'm so gladful that Gurudev offered me this saffron cloth, because I was not that young anymore also. So, and yes, if I'm looking around me, so many, it's such an attachment to have a relationship. I see so many devotees, so difficult to take vanaprasth, because it's not an easy thing to leave everything behind. So yeah, if I'm looking back now, I had so much freedom all these years to travel to India and everywhere without giving any responsibility to a partner or something. So yeah, Gurudev has really changed my ideas, but I'm so thankful for that. So this year's, yeah, and then Gurudev also, he said at that time in one place, he said, "I want to make a preaching center." Well, he said to the other devotees, you should, as Sangha in Holland, you should do programs in Indubhusan's house. So, and he inspired me to start a preaching center, like a temple. So that was what I tried to follow. So my house became like a temple. And it was, in the beginning, was quite difficult, because I'm a person, I like to be on myself, like, artist a little bit. I'm not like a Brahman studying scriptures, but just to be on myself, I always felt I'm not feeling alone, because I always feel Guru or Krishna is with me. But starting a preaching center was in the beginning quite difficult also, because devotees come, they feel like this is Krishna's house. And I felt I have to maintain everything. I have to pay the bills, and I had a bank loan. So I was even working part-time at that time to maintain the temple. And yeah, many difficulties also in the beginning. And then I wrote to Gurudev, "Gurudev, please give me some instructions how to take care of these problems." And Gurudev, he wrote back. He said, like, "Problems will always be there, but I will learn you to dance over them." Wow. That was such a beautiful answer he gave. I will learn you to dance over the problems. So, and it is really like that. When I'm looking back, what was a problem many years ago for me, now I can really not becoming disturbed about it anymore. So this is what Gurudev is doing with us.
So you're already dancing over them.
Yes. Well,
I can see
I'm
that.
not on that level that every problem is, I can just smile at it. But Gurudev has given me so much that life is becoming more and more easy. Like Saranagati, Anukudashikampao. So all these details, what means Saranagati? Krishna is our maintainer. And I was always thinking, I have to pay the bills. But the more and more I had this preaching center, I understood Krishna is, every time he is helping me. When my money was always almost finished, then always there was a solution, and every time some money was coming somehow. So this is really, yeah, it made me so much, it was so much learnful. Also, the devotees living in my house, sometimes, yeah, they could disturb me so much, but it's all a blessing, because then you can see what are your anarthas. If you live with only friends surrounding you, then you cannot see the anarthas you have inside. So in this way, I learned so much, and I have received so much mercy from that by this instruction of Srila Gurudev. So Gurudev, he was an example of always being absorbed in Harinam, never to be disturbed. So he was, every year he had to hear so many problems of devotees. Oh, Gurudev, I have this problem. All over the world, when he was traveling, everybody was coming with their problems. I remember one time Gurudev, we were so much absorbed in separation. He was chanting, oh, Gurudev, I have this problem. And then another, Gurudev, I have this problem. And Gurudev says, he was closing his eyes. He said, there is only one problem. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And tears were rolling from Gurudev's eyes. So this was such an example, Srila Gurudev, how he was sometimes so deeply absorbed in Harinam, and giving us an example that what is really important in life. You know, we can become so much disturbed about so many things, but Krishna is we think we are the controllers, we have to manage everything, but Krishna is helping in so many ways to resolve what is a problem one day, and tomorrow the problem is gone. So I have learned this. Gurudev, under Gurudev's guidance, he gave me this understanding that Krishna is taking care of everything, and Sri Guru. So that was so much learnful, that period, and also so much blissful. Time was flying, because Gurudev, every year he came to the West, and every year we were in India also, Navadvip Parikram, Kartik. So we cannot imagine how much fortunate. So many people in the world, they have no understanding who they are. They are thinking we are this body, they are working like donkeys. But we had this Sadguru who was guiding us and giving us an understanding what the most important things in life is, to realize Sisi Radha Krishna, you know, and your own relationship with God. So it was such a blissful time. Devotees every year came to the preaching center, like Sripad Maharaj every year, sometimes twice coming. Such a nectar always, this Harikatha, Bhakti, Sridhar Maharaj, Bhaktivedant Sridhar Maharaj, and Sri Bhaktivedant Tirandi Maharaj. So many preachers, even Bhaktivedanta Tirtha Maharaj sometimes came also. So, and then from Germany, devotees came to Holland. From England, devotees came. So we had such a nectar every year. It was every month there was celebration. Sometimes we went to England. I went to Srila Govinda Gaudiya Math in Birmingham, staying with the devotees there. So it was such a beautiful time. And then Gurudev came to Europe, and he was inspiring us to travel with him in Europe. So he stayed in Holland, sometimes Ireland, England, Spain, France, Italy, so all these places. And it was such a feast when Gurudev was in our presence.
Yeah.
You could feel the difference so much. The moment Gurudev was entering the festival place, then everybody became in bliss. And his Harikatha was really Sapta Brahma, transcendental sound. Sometimes I had a feeling what I cannot grab it, you know, especially in the beginning, like what is Gurudev speaking, and I could not concentrate always. So one time, I think it was in Spain, small festival. I went to Gurudev's room. I said, Gurudev, I try to concentrate your Harikatha, but sometimes I feel it goes one ear in and one ear out. And Gurudev was smiling at me. And he was touching my heart, like saying, put it there, I put it in your heart. So it's really like that. So now, sometimes I'm giving classes, in the temple here in Holland. And then suddenly things are coming up that I was thought, where it's coming from. So what Gurudev has spoken about so many years, suddenly it comes up. So it's really, he put it in our heart. So this Sapta Brahma is so special, Gurudev's chanting. So yeah, he was really in his mood, he was always in Braj also, Srila Gurudev. That was really what you could see. He was like, I heard one time when he came back to the first travel, when he was out of India, he came back to Vrindavan, and the devotees were saying like, oh, Srila Gurudev, it must be very difficult for you to be out of Vrindavan. But Gurudev says, no, wherever I be in Vrindavan. You are in Vrindavan, but you are not in Vrindavan. I'm always in Vrindavan. Everywhere I be in Vrindavan. So it really is like that. Gurudev, he was always absorbed in Vrindavan. One time in Italy, there was a festival. Gurudev was doing a morning walk. And at that morning walk, they took Gurudev to the beach, and there was one dog, and the dog had so much tears, and it was very dirty, full of sand. And he was checking every car that stopped at the beach. He was looking, and Gurudev stepped out of the car, and he was asking why this dog is here. And they explained, well, Gurudev, here in the West, sometimes people they put the dog out when they don't have time for him to look after, and then they leave the dog behind. So how sad. Gurudev could not imagine that people could do that. And Gurudev, he was getting tears in his eyes because he was immediately thinking of the gopis, how Krishna left Vrindavan, and the gopis every day watching, when is Krishna coming back? So in the evening class, Gurudev, he mentioned this impression, that thing he saw in this morning during the morning walk. But he said, Krishna is not so cruel. And tears were flowing from his eyes. Krishna is always coming back. So he's never leaving us alone. So Gurudev, everything what he saw was reminding him of Vrindavan. And everywhere he went, he was always giving blessings to the devotees, so much blessings. So I remember one time on the airport in Holland, Gurudev was asking me to give the definition of Uttama Bhakti by Rupa Goswami. So I told him the sloka of Anyabhilasita Sunyam. I was not a very learned person, so only a few slokas I knew. But Gurudev, immediately he said, I bless you, you can preach all over the world.
Wow.
So really, he wanted to give me this blessing only by giving a very sloka that everybody knows, but only he gave me this chance to let him give this blessing. So I know he is, by his words, everything can come true. Like if Gurudev says, I want to open your preaching center, then only if Gurudev says, I want, then all this Shakti is inside his words already. So if Gurudev says, I want, I bless you, you can preach all over the world. There is so much power in this word. So we should not be afraid of any instruction that Gurudev is giving us, because by his instruction, he's giving us this power that we can fulfill this desire of him. So yeah, so Gurudev, he was really so much giving inspiration, and he was always so humble, like Trinadapi Sruhishnina. He was an example of humbleness. Like he was always all honor and respect giving to his guru, not taking any respect for himself. that was such an example Srila Gurudev was giving us, like any honor you give to Gurudev, or Gurudev, you are so great. Immediately he gave it to his Guru. So they say that the greatest anartha is name and fame, pratishtha. But Gurudev, he was such an example how to deal with pratishtha. He said, immediately give all the credit to your Guru. If you glorify Gurudev, he said, only because my Guru Maharaj gave me something, I can preach now. I can give something to you. Only because my Gurudev gave me some rupees, I can distribute this rupees, Gurudev said. So in this way, Gurudev, he was an example of Trinada Pishrihishna, more humble than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. I remember one time I heard Gurudev was inviting all the sannyasis. Oh, tomorrow I want to have all the sannyasis in my room. I give Siddha Pranali, Gurudev said.
Oh.
And then the next morning, all the sannyasis gathered at Gurudev's room. And then when they were in, Gurudev was saying, Trinada Pisruhishna, Tarora Pisruhishna, Amanina, Manalina, Kirtaniya, Sadahini. So Gurudev, he said, this is the Siddha Pranali. This is our real identity. More humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. Always give respect to all others, but don't ask for any own glorifications. So Gurudev, he was an example of this. He said, name and fame is running behind me. So Gurudev, he had no interest in that, but he said, it's coming, it's running behind me. So, yes, by his chanting, by his devotion, everybody became inspired. They say the Kanishta Adhikari sometimes chants. The Madhyam Adhikari is always chanting, but the Uttam Adhikari, by his chanting, everybody becomes inspired. So that was always visible when Gurudev came. When we were close to Gurudev, everybody was so enthusiastic. The moment Gurudev went to another country, then you could feel the energy was completely different. So this was so much powerful. You can see all these photos of Gurudev, the association, everybody who was close to Gurudev. They felt so much blissful, so much ecstasy. So I had a special relationship with Srila Gurudev. I had this kind of like from the heart. I'm more a person. I like to sit in the back and just watching and listening. I don't want to sit too much in the front. But Gurudev, he was always giving me this attention. So it was really a relationship from the heart. And I remember when the first time I took initiation, the first year, I remember also that impression to have a guru. In the West, we are not familiar that by pure devotees who can understand what is going on in your heart, like you have in India, this tradition with gurus and transcendental persons. So for me, it was really a new thing when I took initiation, and Srila Gurudev, he immediately let me know, I can read your heart. I can see what is in your heart. So one time in Varsana, the first year I was in India also, Gurudev, he was giving Harikatha. And I was, what I said, I had been very sick for 10 days or something. So I could not concentrate on Harikatha. I was thinking, maybe I go get a drink outside. Outside in the street, they were selling cool drinks. So my mind was going there. And I was sitting on the side of the pandal. So I could lift up the plastic and then just take a drink during the Harikatha. And Gurudev, at that moment, he was constantly looking at me. And I understood after 2-3 minutes, oh, he knows what in my mind. He is telling me, you cannot hide anything from me. So it was really, he was showing me that this is the power of Guru. You should not try to do anything behind his back. So, and it was also when I came back to Holland, like the first year of Parikram, then you think, okay, you can do your own thing still, but I realized, oh, Gurudev is still with me. He is in my heart. Like he took over the role of Paramatma. That was so clear for me. So always I had this strong feeling that the moment I was losing up, I was not too much serious practicing. I could feel, and Gurudev was encouraging me or chastising me from inside. So my relationship was always from the heart with Srila Gurudev. I could, you could almost hear him speaking and telling what to do, what not to do. So yeah, they say the guru, he can have different relationship with his disciples. Like they give the example of a bird is sitting on his eggs. So he stays very close to his eggs. And then there is the fish. When the fish putting the eggs in the water, the fish is not too much close to the egg, but he's always watching at the eggs. So, and there's the turtle. The turtle, he put his eggs on the beach under the sand, and then he leaves. But in his mind, he is always thinking of the eggs, meditating on the eggs. So you can see Gurudev had many disciples, and some were always very close to Srila Gurudev, like the bird sitting on the eggs. And some he was, have different relationships. So I was feeling Gurudev was always in my heart. We had always this connection, and I could feel when he was happy with me, and could feel also when he was not too much happy.
You also like tortoise.
Sorry?
Your relationship was like tortoise from far, right?
Yeah, so more or less like that. So, but yeah, that's why I was quite happy with that connection. So wherever I was, I could feel Gurudev's presence, and in this way, I could feel, there is nothing to hide from Gurudev. You have to be serious. Any place in the world, wherever you are, there is nothing to hide, and he can see everything. So it was an amazing experience especially in the beginning. That means Guru, such a transcendental person. He is all pervading, and this all pervading is amazing. One time I was preaching in China, and Rita Didi, our god sister, she was guiding us to many places in China, and she gave one pastime, beautiful. She was telling that one devotee in China, he lived in the mountains or in the hill, and there was an earthquake at that moment, and he was not initiated devotee, and he came down the hill because he thought where to be safe for the earthquake. And he said there was one old man, he was pointing to one house, go inside this house. So this person, he went inside the house, and coming inside the house, there they were worshiping Gurudev. There was a picture of Gurudev, photo of Gurudev, and the devotees were singing kirtan in front of the photo of Gurudev. And this person said, what is this? This man on the photo was just standing outside and pointing me to go inside this room here. How amazing. So how Gurudev was attracting people all over the world, coming in dreams. They have never met Gurudev, but Gurudev, he was everything what was going on in this universe. A pure devotee is aware of that. So it's such a beautiful story, pastimes I heard about Gurudev's blessings. One time I was in Australia at Dr. T, what is it, Tamal Prabhuji's place. And he was showing a picture of his mother. Gurudev was sitting next to his mother with his hand above her head. So his mother was more than 80 years old. And she came to Srila Gurudev when Gurudev stayed in Dr. T's place. And then she was asking if she could have shelter of Srila Gurudev. And Gurudev was so touched by her humbleness, such an old lady, and he accepted her. He gave initiation. But she said, I have leukemia, like blood cancer. So the doctor says there's not so much time I have to live in this. I can stay in this world. So soon I have to leave my body. Doctor says there is not so much help anymore. So, but there was a photo. Gurudev was sitting with his hand above her head, smiling. And Dr. T, he was telling what happened after Gurudev went back to India. He went with his mother to the hospital, and there in the hospital, the doctor was doing the blood test again. And when the result of the blood test came, he was so confused, this doctor. He was checking, he thought, oh, this is not the right result. Maybe I mixed up with another person. But no, it was not an exchange of different results. And then Dr. T says, oh, this is the work of my guru. My guru has, so her blood was completely purified. There was no cancer anymore. And she lived for many, many more years. Actually, he said the same day almost as Srila Gurudev's departure, she also left this world. So it's such an amazing personality, Srila Gurudev, how he has helped so many devotees. And it was so blissful also to hear all these devotees glorifying Srila Gurudev. So I wrote down some more things. Yeah, what I said, connecting also with this, that he was in the heart of everybody. And no matter where you was serving Gurudev, he was always there. So also one time on a festival, Gurudev, before he was ending his Harikatha and he was going into stepping in the car, and there was one young girl was standing in the back, one Didi from England, I think. And Gurudev pointed at her, I'm always in your room, I'm always in your house, I'm always hearing your singing. So, and she was very shy. She was not always close to Gurudev, always from the back. But Gurudev, then he went, and the devotees were asking about what Gurudev was mentioning. And he said, well, I have one chair. I have the best chair in my house with a picture of Gurudev, and every day I'm offering flowers and I'm singing some bhajans from Srila Gurudev. I make these offerings. So Gurudev was telling her that don't think I'm not there. I'm always present there. So this is how Srila Gurudev was always with us and still is. But yeah, we have to have faith that he is still present and want to help us. So actually the greatest gift for myself, I received in 2008. In 2008, Srila Gurudev, he was manifesting his sickness pastimes. So he became more and more weak. And the devotees, most of the devotees, they understood Gurudev is ending up his physical pastimes in this world. So one time I came for Kartik, 2008, and the first person I saw that was Sundar Prabhu. Now he is Bhaktivedant Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. So normally I saw him only one or twice speaking in Gopinath Bhavan or Rup Sanatan. I was always very impressed the way he was speaking Harikatha, but I never knew who he was. But that's Kartik. Every day somehow he was crossing my way, and from inside Gurudev was telling, this person is very important for you. So, and I understood Gurudev is giving me a Shiksha Guru. So I made contact with Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedant Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. So he was very, very, well, at that time he was Shyam Sundar Prabhu. So he was not sannyas at that time. And also when I went in this ashram, I met Srimati Krishna Priti Thakurani. So she was so much blissful, also absorbed in Harinam, and always helping so many devotees. I didn't know so much about her. Sometimes I saw her on Parikram. But then when I became closer and closer in contact with them, I realized that's how her level of bhajan and her devotion, and also that she has received everything from Srila Gurudev. So I was really I felt blessed that I received this gift from Srila Gurudev. That's, I didn't have to worry about what happened when Gurudev is not here anymore. So yeah, I can tell everybody we should pray to Srila Gurudev for this kind of association. Because many people you see in ISKCON, but also in our Sangha, they say, Srila Gurudev is my guru, so I don't need to have any other. So, but this is not anywhere promoted in scriptures. This is like Ritvik philosophy. So we should be always under the guidance of a pure devotee. And especially somebody who is so close to Srila Gurudev, who knows not only his activities in this world, but somebody who knows him also from the transcendental world. So DDC made this relationship with Srila Gurudev more and more strong for me. And she was telling so many beautiful things about Srila Gurudev. One time she was telling how Gurudev was so much, yeah, he was always blissful in Vrindavan. So one time she followed Gurudev. He was going to Seva Kunj with Madhav Maharaj, Bhaktivedant Madhav Maharaj. So, and then at one point Gurudev was taking out his kurta and he was rolling in the dust of Seva Kunj. So Srila Gurudev, he was giving this example, like how special Vrindavan is. So Gurudev really, he gave me Vrindavan, this relationship with Vrindavan. He gave me still this sadhu sangha that I have. So I'm very much blessed. I feel so much blessed that I have this connection still with Srila Gurudev through Didi and Maharaj now. And yeah, how Gurudev, he was an example in so many ways. Everything, his chanting was an example. He was like, if he was chanting, he was drinking Harinam. He was really tasting Harinam. And his Guru Nistha also such an example, how he had faith in his Guru. We know this example, how Gurudev, first time he met Srila Guru, his Gurudev, Param Gurudev, Srila Nityalila Vishnupada, Srila Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Swami Maharaj. He said to his Gurudev, I offer all the affection that I have for my wife and children, I offer to your lotus feet. So Param Gurudev, he was crying. He said, nobody has ever told me like this. So this was Srila Gurudev. And not only by words, because as we know, Srila Gurudev, he left his house in the night without saying anything, because he saw no other way to escape from his grihastha responsibilities. So they didn't know where, but finally they find out where Gurudev was, in Navadvip Dham somehow. So they came to the Dham and they came to the mud, his wife and family members. So Gurudev, he was hiding in one room. And the devotees were saying, oh, you have to speak with your family, your wife is here. But Gurudev, he had made his promise to his Gurudev. But finally, he came out of the room, but he kept his eyes closed.
Oh.
Because he promised what he had told his Gurudev. So he was saying, why you have come? This is my place now. But as we know, Gurudev, his Gurudev, he sent him back for some time, but he could not stay there anymore. But Gurudev, yeah, his love for his Guru, this was such an example. Every year when it was Param Gurudev's Avibhav or Dhirubhav Tithi, and Gurudev was trying to glorify, speaking the name of Param Gurudev, always his voice was choked up. He could not speak. I was there and he said, stop the cameras, don't film this. So he was not at all making any show. He was always so humble and so much absorbed. So yes, as he followed his guru's order, like he was starting the Mathura Math, became temple manager in Math. How much difficulties there were, I heard. Like they were cutting the cables of the speakers, and it's very difficult to make relationships with the Mathura Vasis. But Gurudev, with all his affection, with his devotion, from house to house doing programs, he made so much relationships there in Mathura. So I remember when I came to Mathura, how I saw so much affection all these Mathura Vasis and Brajavasis had for Srila Gurudev. So he had such an affection for everyone, for all living entities. In the Mat, they called him Bhakta Banda, friend of all the devotees. The Brajavasis gave him the title Yuga Acharya. So Gurudev was, by joke, he was saying, I'm Kali Yuga Acharya. But Gurudev really, he deserved this title because what he did for Vrindavan also, so many years, he was helping there, planting trees, constructing all these bhajan thalis, all these holy places. He was renovating and doing constructions there. So yeah, what can I say? I remember the last days in Jagannath Puri also. Didi sent us to Jagannath Puri. So Gurudev was having his time in Govardhan Parikram. He was there, but he was very sick, and then he went to Delhi for some days. And then we went to Delhi also with Maharaj and Didi. And then Gurudev was going to the airport. So we quickly also went to the airport. And I could see Didi was there looking at Srila Gurudev entering in the airport. She came a little late. She could only see him from outside. But she could feel this is the last moment I see Gurudev. So then she said, try to go to Jagannath Puri. So I went with Maharaj to Jagannath Puri. And she said, try to do some sevas for Srila Gurudev. But I told Didi, I think everybody has already his seva there, so it's very difficult to do any seva. But anyway, I went there to Jagannath Puri, and I asked Madhav Maharaj to if there was any seva I could do. And surprisingly, Sripad Madhav Maharaj, he was telling, oh, you can wash Gurudev's clothes. So what I said, I had always this relationship from the heart with Srila Gurudev, but now the last days, I was so close in his room, washing his clothes together with another devotee. So it was very, very, yeah, it was the blessing. Also the arrangements of Didi, I think, and how Gurudev was giving me this last moment also of relationship. And every morning, Gurudev, he was taking we could bring him water from the ocean because he liked to have a bath with ocean water. So he was on the balcony, he was getting his bath. And our room was under Gurudev's room. So we were catching all the water coming from the balcony and taking our blessings with that. So these last moments, these last glances of Srila Gurudev, I never forget. And I still, yeah, I feel his presence always with me. So I pray that he will always be there, life after life, wherever I will be, because that is all we need in our life, is the guidance of Sadguru. So I think I will end up my Pushpanjali of Srila Gurudev. Jai Srila Gurudev ki.
Jai.
Go Premanandi.
So nice for you. Really, really very nice, heartfelt Pushpanjali, Shraddhanjali you gave. And the longing you had as a young boy, I think it is all fulfilled by the grace of God and Guru. Whatever you are looking for, whatever you are thirsty for, you got everything in life, I think. And not only you got, but very beautifully you follow it also. Many people get it, but they are either weak or they don't want. Sometimes they slip. But I've seen what you've spoken. Very honestly, you've spoken so many good things, and then you are able to follow them, Gurudev's order as he gave you. So I could see your relationship so beautiful with Gurudev. And very inspiring talk, Prabhu, you gave. You said you are from a small city, Rotterdam. I want to say it is the biggest port in the world. Rotterdam is one of the biggest seaports in the world. It's a big place in Holland. And then you said Bible was not very clear. God was always existing for me. So it shows how many good sanskars you had from previous births. It is not that you were starting, you must have done a lot of austerity and bhajan in previous births. That's why you always have faith in God, at least. And then you are always looking what life meant, who is God. Then you became vegetarian, you followed some principle. And then the way you described this one, all answers came to me at once. What excitement when somebody is looking for so many things and suddenly he finds everything in the book, and you are like, you are trying to see book after book. And you said you bought one after another and everything became so clear and you became so happy. And the power of Prabhupada's book is really great. Many, many souls have been bought into bhajan because of his books, especially Bhagavad Gita and other books also. So Mahabhagavats are like this, they spread their mercy in their books. Gurudev also gave so many books for that reason. And then Sripad Bhakti Swarup Prabhu, you said how he came and introduced you. So, and then you were not stopped by ISKCON. A lot of people were, but your good sense prevailed, I must say, that you did not hear to their words and you thought of trying it yourself. So we should, this is a very important thing, I think what Prabhuji said. If somebody has told us not to meet certain person, we should use our own intelligence also. So it was a very good thing you did. Otherwise, maybe you have, a lot of people could not meet Gurudev because of this. They believed what people said and they lost the chance, and now they're crying, how did I miss such a Mahabhagavat? So you were lucky in that way. And you so beautifully described the first meeting, very heart-touching, how you were sitting in the door and how he was looking at you and telling you with his eyes that he was waiting for you. Just by his eyes you could understand. And how the connection started without even talking or anything. I know who you are. I know you were coming. And you saw many auspicious signs that day. So how nice, I mean, everything is coming together. Pieces you are joining up together afterwards, so nice. And then you thought, do I fit in this group? Such elevated katha is going on. Yeah, Gurudev's katha was really very high, very, very elevated. I think nobody ever spoke such things so openly to so many people. Like, yeah, Mahaprabhu came, he gave all those things, but only to limited people in India. But not Gurudev, he came and gave it to everybody, whole world. He gave Radha Dasyam, such a high thing which Mahaprabhu came to give actually. So his class was really very high. And you describe Gurudev Krishna's condensed mercy. Indeed, his condensed mercy. And and then you were very, very, I really like this, that he followed his orders so nicely. He told you to be in India twice, and every year you went twice for both the parikramas. And then you started the Mutt, the preaching center. Is this your house now, preaching center where you're speaking from?
No, I had to sell it at one point. Okay. So I'm living in another area of Rotterdam.
How big was that preaching center? I just want to know, because it is not easy to start a preaching center in your house. As you also said, initially it was difficult.
Yeah, it was quite a big house. It had 4 floors actually. Ground floor it had a basement. There we had a bookstore.
Okay.
And then the first floor, or the ground floor, was was like a temple room. And then the first floor, we had an ashram, and the second floor, so the ladies could stay on the first floor. Second floor, we had the brahmachari ashram or the men's, and the top floor also there was 2 or 3 rooms. So it was a big house, and we had a really beautiful time there because the preachings, Sripad Maharaja always came there. So it was really good, blissful times.
And what do you paint, Prabhuji? What kind of paintings you do? Or do you still paint something?
No time, because Gurudev, I could understand. He had other plans with me. So it's coming in the future still. So that's why he gave me this blessing also to preach all over the world.
So now you're going all over the world to preach?
Not yet now, especially not now with all this COVID problems. But I know that the time is coming that we get a lot of work to do as followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. So the world is changing. So Gurudev he gave me this insights that we have a lot of work to do, and that is coming soon. So we all have this big responsibility. So this painting was something from a previous life, I know. So I did some.
What kind of painting you used to do? What kind, like sketches or what kind?
No, like oil paintings, and I like this big works. I had some in my temple room. But now
like the
they
sceneries and all, like the beautiful hills and sceneries, all those things.
Yeah, Radha Krishna's, Mahaprabhu, and also Krishna with the sakas and the cows and all this Raja scenes.
Great. So it shows how artistic bent of mind you have. And then you said in the beginning it was difficult to see the beauty of Braj, but slowly I start seeing it.
Yeah.
And I must say, those who start seeing the beauty of Braj, they are really lucky. A lot of us still don't see it. Being here in Braj, nearby Braj, we don't see nothing. And people who can see the beauty of Braj, they are really lucky. They are blessed by Guru and Krishna himself. But it is not easy to see.
Well, I have to say, the real beauty I haven't seen yet, but what I see already now, it's for me. I love it. So it's already so much changed compare when I came in the beginning.
Yes.
I could see not what I see now.
Yes.
Like the beauty of all the Brajavasis, their moods, their way of loving Krishna, their way of worshiping Krishna. So it's for me very impressive.
Yeah. If we don't go with an elevated Vaishnav, we can never understand the beauty of Braj, like Prabhu is saying. We'll never get to touch those moods. We'll only see from outside, and we only see how harsh they speak. Actually, they speak quite harsh from outside when you hear them talking, but so much love they have in their hearts, especially for Krishna, how much they love them. So if we see outwardly, we will not be able to see anything. But if we go associate with the Vaishnav, then yes, we can understand. And this is also very, very nice, you said, Prabhuji. Nobody has ever described like so honestly in this program also and anywhere else also what you described. I met someone very attractive and you thought that you'll become Grihast. So very honestly, you described everything. And then Gurudev came and he talked about Mahaprabhu's Leela had so many married people and he got encouraged. But then Gurudev cut everything and he talked of giving you saffron. And then he was smiling as if you described that he knew what your heart is. But I must offer my pranams to you that you immediately agreed to what Gurudev told you. You forgot totally what you thought and what your desires were and that you were attracted to this lady. You gave up immediately everything and you follow Gurudev's orders. Very, very not easy thing to do for many people. So it is really nice that you totally took Gurudev's order as it is, like a disciple should do. And I think that's why your life is so beautiful now. Anybody who follows Gurudev's order, he will be happy for sure. He will always be happy. And to other devotees, okay, so you made a preaching center there, nice. And yeah, having a house in your temple, especially for artists, because artists, they like their solitariness. because you are in a different world. You want to paint, you want to think something, but when you have so many people around, it's not easy. And you very honestly described all those things. It was not very easy in the beginning. I can actually understand how difficult it is to have like 10 people living in your house suddenly. Thakurji there, Aarti going on, But then everything you crossed over those things. And then very
Well,
nice.
yeah. It was not only difficult because we had also many nice devotees came also. So
It become better.
It was learnful because you need also to
manage.
To have some difficulties to see what is your anartha inside. But also it was very blissful, and I learned a lot from so many devotees who stayed with me. So altogether it was so much helpful.
And I really like the statement you made. You asked Gurudev, see, this is how a disciple should be with his guru. If we have facing difficulties, we should ask Gurudev the solution, that I am facing this difficulty, this is my problem. And very honestly, you ask Gurudev, Gurudev, please give me some instruction. How do I come over the difficulties? And what he said, problems will always be there, but I will teach you and you will dance over them. So how confident Gurudev was telling you this thing. And I can see now you're dancing beautifully over all problems.
No, not all, but
most
more than before.
The Gurudev told you they'll always be there. So, but you will dance over them. Problem will never go.
Yeah, we always think this is my last problem, and then I can do bhajan. But surprisingly, there are always coming new problems. This is material life, so we have to understand. We should not become disturbed by the problems because they will always be there. So,
and this is what you said after this was most heart touching, I would say, and very, very important for all of us who are hearing and who are going to hear later. Prabhuji made a very big statement and big realization, I must say. He said, all this while I was thinking that I was paying the bills. And then he realized that Krishna is the maintainer. See, when you do seva, then you have a lot of realization. If you don't do any seva, very difficult to get realization. So when he thought of maintaining such a big place, so many people are coming, so many things have to be arranged, and he has to pay bills. Then how everything started happening, he described magically. Money started coming when needed, not other times. And then he realized that I'm not doing anything. Krishna is maintainer. So when we come to this stage, then something starts actually. Before this we're just trying hard. But now Sharanagati is from here what Prabhupada is saying. Krishna is the maintainer, and I was thinking that I was paying the bills. So we are not paying any bills, we are not doing anything. Krishna is doing for us. We're not even seeing, we cannot see those, we think we are doing. So this illusion will go. When this illusion goes, only then we can have some Sharanagati and some realization. And you just talked about Gurudev always being absorbed in Harinam, never disturbed. Gurudev, I have this problem. This is one problem. People used to tell him so many problems. And what Gurudev is saying, there is only one problem. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And you said tears started rolling. I mean, what kind of mood he is drowned in all the time. When we are seeing worldly problems, he's seeing only one problem. Where is Krishna? And it was such a blissful time. Indeed, it was a very blissful time. So many parikramas, Gurudev coming, going. It was really very nice. We had a lot of energy. Everybody could feel, all the devotees had so much enthusiasm and energy. And then how it touched your heart and put Shabd Brahm there. Very nice. Yeah, he was always in Braj, you said. And how he saw a dog and he's thinking of gopis, unbelievable. I mean, he saw a dog crying on the beach and he's thinking of separation of gopis with Krishna when Krishna left him. So only Gurudev can do this. Person who are in that world, they can get inspiration even from a dog on the beach. We would think so many other things. Who was that person, what he did, and then Gurudev is just thinking about gopis, how they were feeling. And this is also so nice. He said, if he says something, if he orders you, if he tells you to do something, then he gives you Shakti. Like he told you to do preaching all over the world. Then there is so much power in those words, and we should not be afraid to follow. This is what is said. And I think very, very important for all of us. Whenever Gurudev orders anything, we should not be afraid. There's no need to be afraid, because the power to follow it will also come from him if we have faith. And Tanada Pishunichan, you told, we all saw how it was. Immediately he gave all the credit to his Gurudev, immediately, for anything. He came after Western preaching in the first or second year. I asked him, I said, Gurudev, you're doing wonders. Whole world is dancing behind you. They're coming after you. He told me, son, all this thing which I'm doing, if Krishna wants, he can get it done from a wooden statue. He just chosen me. There's no, he said, that's what he said. Because even he can get it done from a wooden statue. How humble he was. And how if you do small thing, we want to tell everybody, oh, I've done this service, I've done this. So you can see where we are and where our Gurudev is, what we have to follow. Very, very inspiring today's talk. You should not try to do anything behind the back. Gurudev, we can never do it. If we think, oh, nobody is seeing, Gurudev is not seeing, no, this is not the case. He is seeing everything very nicely, nice and clear. And you told how he's encouraging you and chastising you this time also. And this is also very nice. At the end, you told that you pray to Srila Gurudev for this kind of association. Gurudev gave you a hint, and you started following Pujyapad, Bhaktivedant Madhusudan Maharaj. Very, very qualified. I've heard him many times. Gurudev used to make him speak in the sabhas meetings. Very, very rasik also. And Gurudev used to be very happy when he used to speak. So, and you said, always be under the guidance of pure devotees. And yeah, if somebody alive is there, it is more helpful, because he can guide you, correct you. So it is very important also, and you talked about it. And finally, you got the service of Gurudev for washing his clothes. And you were there at when he left this world from Jagannath Puri. Not many people got this fortunate to do some seva to Gurudev at that time. Sanjay Prabhu, Madhapriya Prabhu, Madhumaraj, Madhumaraj, and you were there also. So I must say that you have a special relationship with Gurudev, and he has given you so much mercy. I can see it. You used to give ocean bath to him every day in the balcony, and then take his prasad under his room. So not everybody can get these opportunities. People who have some sanskar and who has followed their guru in their heart, whatever he has said, who has followed the instruction very nicely, only they can get these opportunities to serve highly elevated Vaishnava like Gurudev, Raman Manjari herself. And we cannot imagine our good fortune that we're getting service like this. So Prabhuji, it was really very nice and inspiring. Thank you so much. Ramananda Prabhuji is here. Ramananda Prabhu, you want to say something? You're from Holland.
Let's see.
Yeah, hey.
Prabhuji.
You can unmute Prabhuji, Ramananda Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay, I have some kids here, so it might be noisy.
No, it's fine.
Jai Ramanandaji.
Indubhushan Prabhu ki jai. He has been the most tolerant temple president that you can imagine.
No,
When I was staying in the temple with him, if I wouldn't come for Mangalarti, if I wouldn't come for bhajans, only for prasadam still, he would always happily serve prasad, no problem. If I didn't come for morning bhajans, he would sing alone all morning bhajans and do aarti and everything. If we come, good. If we don't come, he's not bothered. He continues.
Wow, that is so much like Gurudev, so much tolerant.
No, they had no other choice. I was the only brahmachari in Holland, so if they had another, they had to choose another for sure.
So Ramananda Prabhu, you also stayed in Rotterdam in Prabhuji's mutt, that place?
Yes.
For how long?
I used to come and stay with Indubhushan Prabhu also to get some inspiration.
Oh, okay.
But
I
was very lazy sometimes, but still he would.
No, he was a great help.
Tolerate me.
Nice kirtans, everything.
Actually,
in Holland.
So,
yes, Prabhu. Now, Kishore Prabhuji, you want to say something?
no, Prabhu.
Okay. All right, if anybody wants to say something or ask something from Prabhuji, they are most welcome to do it. Otherwise, we'll close today's program.
I like to say that
Yes, please.
in Holland, we had a very nice Sangha. So for me, it was not too much difficult to organize the programs because like the Ramananda's mother and a lot of Indian devotees, they always helping, they bringing prasad. So it was for me not too much work because I had so much help. We had really a nice family of devotees surrounding, and Holland is quite a small country. So all the devotees, they were living close to each other. So it was really blissful, and always having Gurudev every year. So, but especially all the help that came, that made it not too much difficult also.
Yeah, I think because of devotees like you, Holland has become the hub of Gaudiya Vaishnavism now. I think all over the world, it's like everybody goes there. I think all preachers have been there, including I also been there many times in some programs. Though I'm not a preacher, but then yeah, I've attended a few programs with Sridhar Maharaj and other people. Yeah. So it's a nice place. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much for being with us today and inspiring all of us so nicely, and reminding us of Gurudev and his transcendental qualities. It was really, really nice and inspiring. And I can see you're very, very elevated. So we ask for your mercy, and I offer my pranams to you, Prabhuji.
Now I have to ask for all the mercies of all the devotees because I'm still on the bottom of the list. But this opportunity was really helpful for me. So thank you so much.
And I thank all the listeners also and those who are going to listen later for being on this program. Tomorrow is Safala Ekadashi Vrat, which we are going to follow. You can keep Nirjala, those who can. Otherwise, you can keep Nirjala till evening 4 o'clock, like Gurudev was saying last time in this lecture. So as much as you want to do, you can. And tomorrow also, there is some Tithi also. So I'll announce the program tomorrow in the group, whatever we're going to do. Maybe Tithi Palan tomorrow. Tomorrow is I think, disappearance day of Pujyapad Bhakti Prakash Aranya Maharaj, Prabhupada's disciple. So for today, we'll stop here. Shri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrand ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrand ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Pujyapad Indubhushan Prabhu ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari
Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Dandavat, Hare Krishna.